Oh god, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, test. Hey, we're good. Where's my cell phone charger? The hell? Oh. Cell phone charger. Cell phone charger. Okay. Alright. Hopefully this teleports me to where I need to go. Oh, that was the one we did already. I need to do Zelfatal. Zelfatal. Remember, I unlocked it last time right before I quit. So as soon as you give me the go-ahead, oh, I'm so fucking happy that we killed that little fucker. Oh my god. Whenever you're ready. Immediate. I had to make the party thing super small whenever we were doing King Mog because I couldn't read the enemy list. It was overlapping. Couldn't fucking see what Moogles we killed or were low or not. The first like 2 or 3 tries. I know. It was good. Yikes! That scared the shit out of me already. Oh, I need to put my other... Ooh. Yay. Free company chat. Ugh. Jesus. So many explosions. Claudio, why are you running into a wall? There we go. That was weird. Perfect. That's kind of goofy looking. Wow! Ouch. Ow. Okay. Oh man, that hat's cool. Would that I could wear it. Got the earrings though. Man, I love Ninja. Ninja's so fun. Oh, this guy looks sick. Perfect. Whee! That was fun. Fucked up that guy's playing. Whoops. Whoa. Hello. It's winged bird Zan. Dead. Yeah. Yes, just get Garuda out here. I don't know, I'll have to see. Valkyrie, it said.
Thank the gods. What happened?
Nothing good. Garuda was hanging around. And there was a big bird.
So
Shit
they
was
were
wild.
unable to see the ritual to its completion. Then Garuda is no longer a threat, and whatever the Ascians and the Warriors of Darkness were planning has come to naught. But we should not tarry. The knights have secured our path to safety.
Good.
Well, well. What do we have here?
You'd better not have killed the primal without us.
Oh, hello.
You!
Wait, I know you. Still walking, I see. I could have sworn my aim was true.
Ranger of Darkness.
Just what is your game? Leading us a long way so these fools could step in and claim our prize?
No, no. Let's not make hasty accusations. By the look of things, the ritual was proceeding as planned. We arrived at the appointed hour. 'Twas they who erred.
It is hopeless. We cannot face them all.
Do mine ears deceive? A boy! So that's the way of it. Twins! You had me worried for a moment there. Know that I will happily make it quicker for you, if you just stand still.
Enough, Jarumul. We wouldn't want to upset the man in white with any unnecessary bloodshed now, would we? You've been awfully busy since we were kind enough to spare your lives.
While you were idly consorting with the Ascians, you mean? 7 hells! What could you possibly hope to achieve?
Should I explain it to you? Very well. Consider it a reward of sorts for beating us here. You know the tale of Hydaelyn and Zodiark, I take it? Of the Great Sundering and the reflections it created?
Across 10 and 3 they were divided. Reflections of the source, each possessed of shards of light and dark.
Just so. One of those reflections, the one nearest to the source, is our home. And we were the heroes blessed with her light. But not all worlds hold light and dark in equal measure. In ours, the power of light was greater by far. So the Ascians, who once threatened our home, were no match. And they fell before us, one after another, till none were left. Victory we thought. And then came the light.
Now see, this is so much more
blinding
interesting.
radiance, annihilating shadow and color and life itself. Ere long, it will consume our world, leaving naught in its wake but blank perfection.
That cannot be. Do you honestly expect us to believe such a story?
Believe what you like. But it has happened before, on a world far removed from ours. The 13th, which was swallowed by the dark and transformed into what you call the Void. Unchallenged light would condemn us to a similar fate. And so we joined hands with our former enemies, and with their aid came here, to the Source. For there is but one way to restore the balance and save our home. The Ardor. Calamitous destruction with the power to break down the barriers between planes and see our worlds rejoined.
You would doom our world to save your own? What would even become of us? Of you?
Enough. I tire of talking. You know our cause. You know what is at stake. We are prepared to do whatever it takes. Are you?
You see, that's so interesting.
If there is aught you would say, say it. Otherwise, be gone. You have no friends here.
I gotta sit up. All things considered, we should be grateful to have survived that encounter. You think it could be true, that to save their world they must bring ruin to ours? No, it matters not. Since wanton destruction is beyond justification, whatever their reasons, they must be stopped. The sacrifice of lost ends here. Sure I have all these. I don't know what to do with them. Oh, I didn't have Fenrir. Okay. Whoops. Damn it. Forgive me, this is neither the time nor place for idle introspection. The knights can appraise Lord Edmund of our success. We, the Lord Commander. More importantly, I should see that my sister's condition is improved. You may take a moment for yourself if you wish. I will be at the congregation. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna turn off some of these quests. What the hell is it? That can stay on because that just needs turned in. I'm gonna pop open a beer. Dubby. That is not a good spot for you, cat. Where did my alcoholic beverage go? Damn it, soda can. Stop falling over. Ah, there we go. Bum, bada bum, bum bum. It brings me joy to see you safely return to us, Oldest. What news from Zetafall? Then we were not too late. On behalf of Ishgard, I offer you my deepest thanks. As for we who remained behind, Mistress Ystrolla has been tending to Mistress Alisaie in your absence. I am pleased to report that she has regained consciousness. I imagine you have many questions, especially given your recent encounter with the Warriors of Darkness. I know I do. Come, let me show you to her room. Do not worry, her condition is much improved. She is a resilient one, much like her brother. I don't know. I haven't really talked to her all that much. She seems like she's alright, though.
Alisaie, how are you feeling?
Well enough, brother. Thanks to the kindness of our hosts. They told me you had departed for Zelfatol while I was still abed. I slept much better knowing that. Thank you.
I take it your mission was a success.
Yeah, it went pretty alright.
As if we needed any further confirmation that they are in league with the Ascians. But to save another world? I think not.
I too thought his story fanciful at first. But it is possible there may be a kernel of truth in all of this. At the very least, none of his claims contradict the word's account.
You were following these people, Alisaie. Why?
During my travels, I had oft enjoyed tales of the Scions and their exploits. But after a time, I began to hear whispers of a gifted and theretofore unknown band of adventurers. Adventurers who had supposedly sworn to travel the realm slaying primals in the Scion's stead.
The Warriors of Darkness. And in the course of investigating these rumors, you stumbled upon the Ascians' involvement.
Yes, exactly.
Forgive me, but if these warriors of darkness mean to bring about another calamity, to what end do they hunt primals?
To prompt an escalation. To deepen the beast tribe's feelings of helplessness and despair, and thereby
Makes sense to me.
drive them to summon ever more powerful gods. And lest we forget, these events do not occur in isolation. With their patron deities being slain left and right, the news of man's victory over Nidhogg must surely have sown panic in the minds of the beastmen. 'Tis no wonder they wish to defend themselves.
Power answered with greater power. Death with more death. A vicious cycle fueled by fear and hatred. I know it's like all too well.
Indeed. The Ascians sow discord and desperation, and the warriors of darkness reap the harvest. And so it continues. Yet that is not the extent of their ambitions. The Ascian himself observed that once the powerless realize that the old gods have failed them, they will have little recourse but to look to a new one.
We cannot let that happen.
It should come as no surprise, but Alize and I have uncovered evidence that the Ascians have been manipulating certain parties to ensure that a constant stream of crystals flows into the hands of the beast tribes. If we sever these supply lines, we should at least be able to slow the escalation.
Agreed. Kral and I shall journey to Zelphatol and learn what we can of the Ixal's source.
Then I, for my part, pledge to lead a similar investigation into the origin of the Nath supply.
Sir Emmerich?
As a member of the Eorzean Alliance, Ishgard is honor bound to play an active role in maintaining the security of the realm. You might also say that I have some personal motivation, given the Ascians' dealings with my father. However, I make no secret of the fact that my knowledge of primal beings is scant at best. As such, I should be most grateful if one of your order were to assist me.
Allow me, Sir Emmerich. I have dealt with the Nath before.
Yeah.
Let us consult with Orianja then. Given his dedication to the study of primal beings, I should be surprised if he could not tell us something of value.
When's he gonna turn the whole way?
Allow me to accompany you, brother. And before you think to refuse, know that I am not the girl I once was. I shall not be a burden. You have my word.
But Alize, you...
Hasn't Urianger been talking with the Ascians?
You are more than welcome. After all, it was you who set us upon this path.
Wait a minute. I'm afraid I can't allow you to leave just yet. Not until you try on the new outfit I prepared for you.
Or am I confusing him with someone else? I thought so. Man is sketchy. It's been many moons since we last worked together, though I believe the same cannot be said of you two, of the two of you. I confess I was aware of your subterranean expedition, of your search for the truth of the calamity. I considered involving myself with her venture for a time, but as you all know all too well, circumstances conspired to keep us apart. I can only assume she carried on in our absence. My apologies for keeping you waiting. Ah, yes, very nice. Right then, shall we be off? Sutaro never ceases to impress. Though for a moment I feared she might furnish you with an identical outfit. Praise the 12, she did not. Mother and father were rather too fond of making us wear matching clothes. Do you remember that time at the stadium when that girl of yours crept up behind me in the hall and whispered, sister, please, she was not my... Can we have this conversation in front of the... Can we not have this conversation in front of the Warrior of Light? We get it. You were a horn dog. Another time, perhaps. I should thank you again for your assistance with my expeditions, Oldest. Though we left matters somewhat unfinished, I am nevertheless prepared to focus on the task at hand and aid you to the fullest extent of my ability. As you help me to brave the coils, so too will I help you defeat the Warrior of Darkness. Oh, that explains why I don't remember it! Because we didn't fucking do it! New garments aside, I must say you seem different, more resolute than when we last met. You have the look of a woman who's ready to fight for the future of Eorzea. To the extent of my abilities, perhaps, but I have no delusions of grandeur, nor will I pretend to have found myself or any such thing. I am here today because I would regret it if I weren't, that's all. Fair enough. Let us depart for the Waking Sands, then. See if Ariane J can be of assistance. Now I'm getting fucking notifications for Discords? Good God. Oh, I haven't walked this path in a while. Just like old times. I'm not even gonna fly there, I'm just gonna walk. Nostalgic in a way. I don't know. Probably did once. Ariane J, apologies for calling on you unannounced. Why, Master Alphino, would that the scholar had seen fit to grant me knowledge of thy coming. What bringeth thee in thine ear this day? The Warriors of Darkness have returned. Pray allow us to explain. Yeah, I'll check it whenever I'm done. There's plot happening right now. I too have heard tales in recent days of primal beings being rising up only to be cast down by forces unknown. Alas, thou didst observe this serveth to spur the beast tribes to pursue their goals with redoubled fervor. We have two objectives at this time: to identify and remove the source of the beast tribe's crystals, and to take direct action to prevent any future summoning rituals from reaching completion. The second is easier said than done, of course. While we were fortunate enough to learn of Izel's plan before they came to fruition, I should be surprised if the Warriors of Darkness and the Asians did not have similar designs elsewhere, of which we have no knowledge. Thou wert wise to come hither, for this very day did I receive tidings most troubling from across the Strait of Merlthor. O Grohomoro stirreth, and there are whispers that Lord of Craigs neareth his return. Mere rumors, mark thou, but in the light of thine own discoveries, thou canst afford to turn a deaf ear to their claims. Aye, we must ascertain the truth of the matter for ourselves. Let us consult with the Maelstrom forces stationed at the camp overlook Oldus. All right. Thank you for your counsel, Urian J. Please inform us should you learn aught else. I shall. If I may, brother. Urian J, is there anything else that you would like to say? Alice? If not, then never mind. I only ask because you are normally rather more verbose. Nothing to add? Very well. Ere we depart, I wish to make a request. The Warriors of Darkness spoke of how the Ardor had the power to break down the barriers between planes, that our worlds might be rejoined. I would ask that you research this for us. Being nowhere near as well read as you, I'm sure that I wouldn't know where to begin. That said, I heard tell of a promising tome, the Gruen Oracles. Perhaps you could start there. By thy leave. Camp Overlook, was it? Very well. Ah, yes, Manphilia's old office. I miss our old house. Can't talk about Jesus like that, Claudio. Why don't I care about what you have? Oh, because it's about a reporter. Yeah, that sounds fun. It's a Hildebrand quest, I believe. Because it's about that reporter, not a reporter. I should clarify that I have nothing against reporters. I'm pretty sure it's a Hildebrand quest, and it's that reporter lady in them. Which, you know, it was fun for Gilgamesh, but I also don't really give a shit, so... 7 hells at this rate will have to appear to the Maelstrom Commander for reinforcements. Whatever it is, we don't want any. Well, fancy that. Just when my kobold problems looked like they were coming to a head. The signs of the 7th dawn turn up, itching to pitch in. Bloody brilliant timing is what it is. Right then, let's get to it. No, you said you don't want any. Fuck you. I'm not helping you. I'm not trying to sell fucking Girl Scout cookies. God damn. We're leaving. This guy's a dick. Alright, fine. So our friendly neighborhoods in Urgramero have gotten much more aggressive as of late, just as you said. Matter of fact, our scouts spotted one sniffing above the stores just now. Likely looking to make off with an armful of crystals. Be damned if I'm about to let that happen. Lend a hand and help us search the camp for the little bugger, would you? Now, Sir Francis, you're a little more agitated than when we first arrived. Do you happen to know what that might be about? A kobold in the camp, you say? That would appear to corroborate Oranger's information, yes. But to be so reckless as to infiltrate a Maelstrom camp and draw attention to their efforts is passing strange. Well, there will be time to think of on this later. For the present, we must do everything in our power to prevent Titan's summoning, and that means finding and questioning this kobold. Yay! It's like I'm doing Realm Reborn all over again. Good. So happy I could just kill this Velociraptor. Now I feel better. Sure do love fucking looking around for nothing. Ah. Found it. Stay back. Away, far back. I'm not it's no use. Pointless, hopeless, no use. Buddy, if I wanted to kill you, you'd already be dead. Like this Velociraptor. Thud. And this Velociraptor. And this Velociraptor. I don't know. If I kill a few things along the way, it makes me forget that I'm doing a stupid fetch quest. Everybody wins. Except for the Velociraptors, but they're all dead anyway, so me. Come on, this circle isn't even that big. Where the fuck are you? I don't see shit. Come on. Oh, I didn't actually die in one hit. I'm impressed, Velociraptor. Twice. I have no idea where he's gone now. Aha! There you little shithead. Please don't hurt me. I only wish to talk. Yes, just talk. Buddy. I'm getting real tired of chasing you around, so you'd better talk before you end up like this Velociraptor. Alright. Words. This was a stupid plan. Stupid, stupid, stupid. But if I tell no one, then everyone will. He found me again. What to do, what to do, what to do. Buddy, just tell me what's going on. I come in peace, only to talk. Speak, sight, talk. So please do not hurt me. So this is our wily kobold infiltrator, is it? No one of the soldiers were on edge. He could very well give one a bruised knee. Huzzah! We've got him. Fine work, scions. So, little one, thought you could sneak into my camp, did you? Plotting to steal my crystals, were you? No, no, no. I came to talk, to ask for help. But when your soldiers saw me, they drew their weapons and shouted, and I... Now, let us take a deep breath and discuss this like civilized individuals. What is your name, child? Pikmin Gabu of the 620th Order. At least I will be a Pikmin soon. One day. Well met, Gabu. I am Alphino, and this is my sister Alice. Oldest, the man who found you, is our friend. And now that you know our names, we can be friends too. Now, Commander Bullion here thinks you wanted to take his crystals, Gabu. But you said you came to ask for help. Why to us and not your own people? What happened, Gabu? Can you tell us? No one is going to hurt you, alright? Not while we're here, I promise. The Patriarch, the Patriarch is going to summon the Great Father again, and you have to stop him, beat him, fight him, stop him. Gabu's parents said they didn't want it, along with many others, but the Patriarch wouldn't listen. He's so angry, raging, fuming, angry. He said that if they didn't have iron in their hearts, they would serve as coke for the furnace, and the guards took my parents and the others away, and I haven't seen any of them since. Coke for the furnace? I did not want to believe it, but I've heard tales of folky fashion from the stones and bones of beastmen, which worshippers use in their rituals, hoping to summon more powerful incarnations of their gods. By the 12, that is sickening. No one listens to Gabu, no matter how much he cries, pleads, begs, cries. They do not listen. They only talk about punishing the overdwellers and praising the Great Father. Gabu loves the Great Father, but he loves his parents too. So please, help Gabu stop the Patriarch and save his parents. This is kind of fucked. Commander, advise Maelstrom Command that Titan summoning is imminent. Should the worst come to worst, we will require their support. Time being of the essence, we three will attempt to infiltrate the Kobold stronghold, secure the crystals, and free the prisoners. Well, if you're sure, you'll forgive me if I don't seem optimistic. We'll make ready just in case. That's a little fucked up. I have faith that we may yet stop the ritual. We would surely have detected that associated etheric disturbance had Titan manifested already. But I cannot speak for the prisoners. 12 have mercy, that they would even contemplate sacrificing their own flesh and blood. Brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers. Time is of the essence. We must see what else Gabu knows and formulate a plan without further delay. What else do you know? That's Ali's saying. What else do you know? I heard the Great Father loves crystals. Great Father Titan loves crystals, cherishes covers, loves them, and if we gather enough, he will return. That's why the Patriarch told everyone to go forth and gather them. So I was thinking, if we take all the crystals away, maybe the Great Father won't come. Very good, Gabu. I was thinking the same thing. Do you know where these crystals are stored? Oh, I know. Oh, several spots. Each defended by a different order. Gabu wanted to steal them, but he is too afraid to go alone. Yes, too afraid to go alone. But together we can take them away and hide them. Come. Gabu will lead you to the first cache. Whee! Quickly. Good. This way. Time is short. If you have the crystals, we should move on to the next cache. Did you hear me, brother? Brother! Aye, it's just that... I'm quite certain that Crate once bore its guardian seals. Someone took great pains to remove all traces, but enough remains to make out the pattern. See for yourself. I struggle to imagine kobolds traveling to Korthus to obtain crystals, much less bothering to conceal their origins. I suspect these crystals were smuggled into Veilbard by another party. Most likely a pawn of the Ascians, as Thancred speculated. I don't understand. Who are the Ascians? Do they worship the Great Father Titan too? Ah, never you mind about that. As Alexei said, we do not have a lot of time. Can you lead us to the next cache, Gabu? Yes, of course. Gabu knows the way. The next one is the last and very large, very big, very huge, very large. Though you cast about for a time, you see no sign of the crystals. Uh-oh. Confounded. What about you, Oldest? Any luck? Nothing, but this cannot be. Gabu saw them. Spotted, saw. Think, brother, think. They must have moved them, yes? The question is to where and why. With Oklahoma, where they summoned Titan once before, and the mean to do so again, is the only explanation. What about Mother and Father and the others? We have to stop, we have to help them. And we will, Gabu, we will. Stay calm. We still have time. They have yet to call for the remaining crates, yes? Shit. If they had, they would have found the other caches empty and scouted the alarm. Nevertheless, I believe all the time for stealth has passed. We must breach the navel and seize the remaining crystals. There is no other way to prevent Titan summoning. But first, give me your crystals that I might deliver them on to Commander Blodian's custody. We dare not take them to the bowels of the mountain. The crystals, Oldest, if you would be so kind. Thank you. I deliver them to Camp Overlook for safekeeping and brief Commander Blodian in the situation. Pray go on ahead, as I recall there is an aetherite within our minds that should deliver you to the navel. Gabu doubtless knows the way. Wait for me there. I shall rejoin you and... Strange. I'd have thought you eager to remain in the thick of the action. But this is what you would prefer. Godspeed, brother. This way, this way. This is fitting music. Even if it is the Fate music. Oh yeah, this place is a fucking maze. I take it this is the aetherite we seek, right then. As soon as Alphinauz arrives, we go. I trust that you're feeling suitably heroic, Oldest. There's no telling what sort of resistance we'll face in there. Quickly! clods. Briskly, swiftly, quickly. I will not suffer any further delays. Lay down your arms and surrender. We have your crystals. There will be no summoning this day. Overdwellers here, but how did you... Where are my parents, Patriarch? Where are they? Mother. Father. Cook for the furnace. You monster. How could you? We are but servants of the Lord of Crags. We are his, that he may drink of our blood and partake in our flesh. That he may draw upon the strength of his children and defend them from the tyranny of the Overdwellers. No, Alice, not yet. I understand, Patriarch, I do. Your fear, your anger, your hate. You would do anything to protect your people, anything to deliver them from despair, whatever it takes to ensure that those who threaten you can never do so again. But in your single-minded pursuit of this objective, you have brought suffering onto your own kith and kin. You have sacrificed the lives of the very people you sought to protect. But it need not be this way, Patriarch. Renounce this bloody course. Cease your attempts to summon your god and work with us together to build a lasting peace. Another peace to be abandoned at the Overdwellers' convenience. Oathbreakers, all of you. Liars, betrayers, oathbreakers. You take and you take and you take, and when you have had your fill, you sue for peace. You promise that this time is the last, until you grow hungry again. And when we dare to defend ourselves, you declare this beast tribe cannot be suffered to live, that our god drains the land of ether and brings none but suffering, death, destruction, suffering upon us all. I will hear no more lies from you and yours, Overdweller. You've ruined your own lands. You'll not ruin ours. I said I'd come for you, and I did. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Say something, please. 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 Wake up, 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 wake up. Wake up! Oh shit. Oh. Seven hells. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Alphino, leave him to me. We must away. Just gonna leave Titan hanging out in there? About the 12. How could I be so foolish? Should have known better than to let Gabu accompany us, given what we were like to find. His anguish and despair have served to birth a primal, just as surely as would the supplications of his faithful. Worse, being born of such tumultuous emotion, this incantation of Titan seems incapable of naught but violence. If there was one cause for optimism, it is that while many crystals were present, they represented but a fraction of the quantity intended for the summoning ritual, meaning the Titan must be far weaker than planned. Be that as it may, he's yet a primal, and the longer we leave him to bleed the land of Ether, the stronger he will grow. And should Titan be permitted to leave Ogormuro, the more lives will be lost. The Maelstrom will rally their troops, and the cycle will continue. Oldest, you know it must be done. Will you face the Lords of Crags once more? Thank you, my friend. Alisei and I will tend to Gabu. When you have finished with the Primal, look for us at Camp Overlook. We will be expecting you. Oh. You coming? Suppose I'll do it myself. Well, I know I can do it. I was just asking you if you wanted to help because of the 10-minute wait time. Couldn't do like a Titan easy or something and then let it be like a 1v1. You could have done that instead of just reusing Titan hard. I feel like that'd be cool. Oh, now we wait. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Thank you, Claudio. You make me a happy camper. I can't keep Q if you're not... What's the point? If you're gonna come. I mean, I guess it could happen, but I won't hold my breath that it'll get done before you're done with your thing. So, I mean, I guess, but... Oh, I guess it does say 6 minutes now. Maybe it will. I don't know. Oh, hot damn. The DPS wait time isn't that bad. Alright. Oh, I've done this a billion times. Oh, shit. Oh, God. I just realized what Titan was actually saying right now. That's a little fucked. I wonder if it's only like that for me. I'm stuck in a rock. I'm stuck in a rock. Wah! That was the whole length of the arena. I mean, I got him. Hey, I lived! Already have the katana of Craig's. Oh, I didn't get the coffer. Oh, crap. Okay. Ah, there he is. Did I not tell you he would return safe and sound? The deed is done then. Titan is no more. Yeah, I got him. It was actually pretty wild. I killed him. He knocked me off a cliff. It was fucking crazy. You had to be there, I guess. Good. There's been enough tragedy this day. He's been like that since he regained consciousness. I believe he can hear us, but he has made no attempt to respond. He's almost certainly still in shock, but we cannot discount the possibility that he's succumbed to the Primal's influence. Should that prove to be the case, he must be put to death, like any other thrall. Such is the Alliance's policy, yes? You have the right of it. We must not rush to conclusions. After all, we once feared that Izal's followers were beyond reason, and many have since laid down their arms and accepted Ishgard's peace. We can but watch, wait, and pray. There is nothing to be gained from dwelling on the eventuality over which we have no control, much less one which may never even come to pass. Let us tend to more immediate matters. Informing Commander Bleodin of Titan's demise, for example. You may be certain that he will be glad of the news. Would you be so kind as to break it to him? Whatever this is probably the last thing I'll do for the evening. You're a sight for sore eyes. When the others came back without you, I feared the worst, but they said you had matters well in hand. All settled then, is it? Glad to hear it. But not half as glad as the men will be. Believe you and me. Regardless of whether or not he was summoned properly, a primal is a primal. There ain't a soul in Maelstrom that has lost a friend to one. Don't get me wrong, like, we were all prepared to do our part, but we weren't so naive as to think we'd live to tell the tale. Thankfully, of course, it didn't come to that, which, my friend, sounds to me like cause for celebration. Now, I know you have a lot of places to be, but why not stay the night? We'd be honored to raise a glass to the triumphant return of the Titan's Bane. Ooh, pretty.
Who goes there?
I can turn on voice cutscenes. Yay! It's just me.
Oh, it's you. Forgive me for straying from the camp. He hasn't been feeling too welcome, to say the least. I thought a change of scenery might do him good. But, alas.
Probably. Considering she had none.
It's so quiet out here. The stars spread out before us, beckoning across time and space. Dawn may banish even the darkest night. How bitterly beautiful, those words. I should be stronger for all my experiences. Yet my heart aches more than ever. I never understood why Grandfather gave his life that day. I thought that if I came here, I would find the answers I needed. But when I finally laid eyes on the land he sacrificed everything to save, saw firsthand the bickering, the pettiness, I was disappointed. I was angry. I could not fathom how these people were more deserving of his love than his family, than me. Nevertheless, I had to believe he had good reason. I was determined to uncover the whole truth of the calamity and, perhaps in so doing, find my own purpose in this sea of chaos. My travels have been enlightening, but I cannot say that I have enjoyed them. I have lost count of the many petty crises that I was helpless to resolve and of the people whose actions I could not understand. There were others, of course. Good people. People with whom I felt a kinship, whose lives I could not save.
Well, apparently we were supposed to do coils with her, too.
That never fucking happened, just
didn't do it.
But then I recalled Grandfather's words to my father, years ago, before he left Charlayan behind forever. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. We must all protect that which we hold most dear in the manner of our own choosing. We have to try, do we not? Of course, it's one thing to try and another to do. There were times while I was tracking the warriors of darkness when I faltered, when I was afraid. But then I thought of my brother, of Urianger. Oh, pray forgive me. This conversation has been rather one-sided, hasn't it? Mayhap you could recount some of your adventures in Ishgard.
Well, Imric has a crush on me. I killed a big-ass dragon twice. One time it was Justinian. That was pretty fucking wild. Sid tried to feed me to a whale. That was also pretty crazy. Emmerich has a crush on me, I think. Oh, geez, what else? There's also a big bug man. That was pretty wild. Yeah, a pope turned into a big knight. That was pretty crazy. I'm gonna say this one.
We had no clear memories of our life in the hinterlands, having returned to the motherland as infants. Nevertheless, I am quite familiar with Master Matoya, as is every Sharlayan. I should like to speak with her someday. 'Twould not surprise me if Alphino's recent maturation was at least somewhat due to her sage guidance.
He might not be. She was just about to tell him about how there was a... Tell us about how there was a girl that confused her for him and was like about to give him the hanky-panky. So he's at least bisexual.
So many rest on
you
your
know?
shoulders, warrior of light. As long as the sun rises, we can but carry on, for the sake of those we hold dear.
I think everyone is. I mean, they might be. What you got there, Skippy?
To what end dost thou cling to the tainted gifts of the Mother?
Every tool has its purpose. Even this. Well, what is it?
The seeds sown in Vilbrand have been plucked from the earth and left to wither. Alas, Titan's demise sufficed not to drive the kobolds to deepest desperation.
What did the man in white have to say?
That we are to proceed as he did first set forth.
Well, that's easy for him to say. It's not his bloody world on the brink of destruction, is it?
Be thou well reminded that with an end to Ishgard's unrest, naught now remaineth to preoccupy the Scion's thoughts, and thus may they devote their every energy to thwarting thee and thine. I foresee only greater difficulties ahead.
Foresee? Are you sure you don't welcome them? I'm starting to think you might hold a candle for your old friends after all.
I knew it was him.
Pray do not mistake mine intent. I but look upon the path which lieth before us with due trepidation. Shouldst thou be of like mind, pray consider then another course. For the power to invoke the ardor belongeth not unto the Ascians alone. With thine own hand strike down thine enemy, the so-called hero who would see thy home lost to light. Do but this, and thou wouldst at a single stroke disrupt the all-too-delicate balance of this realm, plunging her straightways into chaos.
You do realize what you're suggesting, yes?
To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. The words of my teacher, and a creed I hold close to my heart.
Very well. Draw him out. We'll make it quick.
It shall be done. What good a creed one cannot uphold? What hurts soothed? What lives saved? Oh, hapless fool, what hast thou wrought by thine own hands? Minfilia, my friends, I shall not now beg your forgiveness. Full deeply though it paineth me to walk it, I shall not stray from my chosen path. As Moonbreeder remains steadfast, so too shall I.
You know, whenever I said, I wonder how long it's going to take for him to turn, I didn't think it was going to be, like, within the next 20 minutes. What ho, oldest? I trust you had a good night's rest. I'm going to finish this quest, at least. I was about a moment speaking with Thancred and Ystrola via Link Pearl. They had some interesting news to share. Apparently, during the course of their respective investigations, both came across crates which had been once born guardian seals. It seems someone in the capital has been very busy indeed. According to the temple knights, they have launched a full-scale investigation. Cermak believes that it is only a matter of time before the culprits are found, but we will have to wait and see. In the meantime, it seems only prudent to look into the recent activities of other tribes, in case they are too flush with its guardian crystals. And with that, I suggest we play Urion J another... Wait, where is Ellie say? I saw her a moment ago with Gabu. Oh, Jesus. Ah, let me guess. Time to leave, isn't it? Yay! My apologies for disappearing again. If it's any consolation, I have already packed my things. How is he? Brother, Commander Belila did. Something tells me you're not solely here out of concern for his welfare. But to answer your question, there has been no change. He will not speak or eat. I'm not even certain if he slept. If he did, he seems none the better for it. He just shuffles about with the exact same expression on his face. You will look after him, won't you, Commander, and treat him with every kindness? He's still in there, I know it. Beneath the anguish and the despair, he's still fighting with all his heart. He deserves to be given a chance. Until he comes back to us, until we know for certain what has become of him. Aye, aye, you needn't worry. If he hadn't risked his neck to warn us and help you secure the better part of the crystals, this could have turned out a damn sight worse than it did. We'll not soon forget that, nor will the Maelstrom Command. I'm so sorry, Gabu. I truly am. Should never have been made to. And I know I cannot possibly understand. Mayhap there is nothing I can do or say. The pain, the anger, the helplessness. Hold fast to the memories of better times. Remember them as they were. And when it hurts so much your heart feels fit to burst, let it burst. Let it burst and fill up again with your love for them. And never ever forget. Come along, little one. I will remember them. And you, Alice. Thank you. Have faith, sister. Your words have reached him. In time he will recover. And those who orchestrated these events will be made to answer for their crimes. A thousand times over, there will be a reckoning. I like her. Alright, Ariane J. It's time for you to fucking come out with it already. Gonna fly this time. We have heard glad tidings from Gomer, my friends. By the grace of the 12, you and your most valiant effort, the peeps of Lumsa may rest easy. I should like to think so, yes. Though we failed to prevent the Lord of Craigs from manifesting, we did succeed in weakening him, enabling our friend to dispatch him before the warriors of darkness could make matters much worse. 'Twas by no means an unmitigated success, but it'll have to suffice. Then let us speak of another matter, one which weigheth heavily on my lady's mind. As thou did request, I sought out the Gurna oracles, that we might better understand the aims of the warriors of darkness. Though their copious use of allegory defieth any single interpretation, the oracles paint a most disturbing picture, one of worlds parallel to our own, yet apart yet linked, reduced to ruin with every umbral calamity. 7 times have they succeeded. Then, of 10 and 3, only 6 worlds remain. Aye, all is as my lady Menphilia spoke unto thee. As for what becometh of these reflections when they and the source are rejoined, frail flesh undone in umbral fires, each soul surrendereth to her call, to flow into the endless sea, and to endure as one and none. Then, if the warriors of darkness succeed, everyone in their world will die? In essence, the verse speaketh of the renunciation of flesh and subsequent return to the life stream. However, this fate may yet be preferable to the alternative, for if the first were to fall to transcendent light in the manner the warriors of darkness described, it would give way unto a void where none may know either life or death. Far better to die, they reason, for in death there is life. The essence of a soul which is returned unto the source may be born anew, saved. Such at least is their belief, I surmise. If that's true, then, gods, no one should ever have to make such a choice. Ere we speak further on this subject, I would share with thee another recent discovery. It would seem that several sizable shipments of crystals have been delivered into the hands of the Alamegan parties. Alamegans? Strange. You believe this to be the work of the same Ishgardian smugglers who supplied the beast tribes? I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, and lest thou wonder at their motive, I would remind you that the Ascians did once attempt to bring about the summoning of Ralger, The individuals who took receipt of these shipments are refugees belonging to a group devoted to the cause of the Alchemigan liberation. It may also interest you to know that their Ishgardian suppliers appear to be none other than the remnants of the Eileen Rosalie's network of spies. Surely you jest, and yet it is not so surprising. Bereft of leadership and hunted by the Alliance, I can imagine such villains being desperate enough to conspire with the Asians, assuming they even know or care who their new employers are. All of which is irrelevant. Forgive me, we must seek out the resistance group which received the crystals without delay, Oldest. Alice, will you come with me to Little Amigo? Yes, of course. I should like to see to hear what they have to say for themselves firsthand. May you ever walk in the light of the crystal. She don't trust him. Alpha Note. Alice, Oldest, are you there? Are you through listening? Good. I have tidings. Several knights raided the smuggler's warehouse less than an hour ago. A cursory interrogation of the prisoners yielded confirmation that they were the employee of, and I hope you are sitting down, a man in black robes. Then you have them, and the crystals too. What few remained regrettably it would seem they dispatched one final shipment in the hours before we struck. It was bound for Little Amigo, we were told, where it will be received by members of a local resistance group. Since Sir Emmerich's men no longer have need of my services, I have mind to head that way. As do we, by happy coincidence. We learned of the shipments but a few moments ago. Ha! And here I was thinking I might finally be one step ahead of the Warrior of Light and his little helpers. Ah, wait a moment. There's more, and I defy you not to be surprised by this revelation. Leader of the Ishgardian smugglers was formerly an employee of one Eileen Roalie, the infamous Ivy herself. Once again, Thancred, I fear I must inform you that... Thancred, with whom else have you shared this information? About the smugglers? No one. As I think I mentioned, the raid was less than an hour ago. I was planning to contact you stolen next, but there is someone else... But is there someone else you would have me notify first? No, there isn't. Tell them, Alice. Jesus Christ, we're still here. We can go fuck him up. Make him tell us what he knows. What in the world has gotten into her? It's twice now that we have sought Urianger's aid, and twice she has treated him as if he were a stranger. The Archon was one of Grandfather's most dedicated pupils, and spent as much time at the Levier estate as we did. He's practically a member of the family. Truth be told, I'd struggle to recall a day from my childhood where I did not see the three of them laughing together. If this continues, I may have to raise the matter. Later, though. Little Amigo awaits. Alice is the smartest one in the room, and I love her for it already. No, yeah, I remember this place. I'll get to the bottom of this. Oh, forgive me, it has been a long day. Did you have something to say? Urianger? No, I've always struggled to understand what's going on in his head, now more than ever. Listen, Oldest, if anything should happen, it should be me who... Just know that I'm prepared to do what must be done. Right then, to more pressing matters. So we have no idea where Thancred might arrive. I suggest we see what information we can gather in his absence. Fair enough. So to review, we reliably informed that the members of the Alamigan resistance operating here have taken receipt of several large shipments of crystals. Task is to ascertain who and why. Given the size of the settlement, I find it hard to believe that anyone here could be wholly unaware of the Resistance's motives. And the challenge, of course, will be finding individuals who are both able and willing to share the information with outsiders. It seems sensible to divide our forces. Oldest, why don't you question the residents of the eastern half of town? Alice and I will do the same in the west. Afterwards, we can rendezvous here and share our findings. Sounds good to me, but... we will do more of that another time. Perhaps tomorrow. Perhaps the day after. I don't know. But now, it is time for sleep. So, with all of that out of the way, I get the feeling the next couple of days, 2 days maybe, will be pretty interesting to see how that all shakes out. Anyway, until then, I will see you guys next time. Have a good night.